Welcome to the Modern Savvy CPA, where financial expertise meets the cutting edge of digital age. I'm Sharon, your host, a certified public accountant, here to guide you through the intricate web of numbers and regulations, offering a fresh perspective of the ever-evolving world of finance. So in this half of the video, on this video, we are going to talk about how do you start living below, where do you begin? Where do you begin when it comes to living below your means? Again, let's review what we've talked about. What does it mean to live below your means? What it means is that you spend less than you bring in. You're spending less than you earn. That's what it means to live below your means. And that is the only way you're going to build your wealth. Building your wealth means that you are building net worth. Your net worth is, if your assets are higher than what you owe. So the money, the assets that you have, whether it's your house, your account, your 401k, your jewelry, your assets is worth more than you owe on them, more than your debt on these things. So that is your net worth, and that is our goal. That is what we want to build. So let's talk about a few things on how we're going to do that. So, it's good. It's a challenge. It's a challenge for a lot of us. This is why most of us are living paycheck to paycheck or are underwater with debt, is because it's not an easy task it's easy to go financially wrong. So, and we have to constantly be looking at our journey, tweaking our journey, where what are we making decisions about our journey, if it's going well or not. So we just can't put our journey together and start walking and not know if there's any potholes in the road, or not understand if today's society is different from the time that we we started working on our journey. We have to keep up with the times, not necessarily the Joneses, but with the times and understanding what we're doing. So, the number one way to start living below your means is telling yourself the truth. You need to be truthful to yourself. If you are not truthful to yourself, a lot of the issues that I have seen with finances is everybody, when they pose the question, why don't I have any money? Why am I this? Why is this way? Why? And then I make suggestions. Then they say, oh, I do that. Oh, I don't do that. Oh, yes, I'm not like that. You need to think about it first. Admit to yourself the way you are, because if you don't admit to yourself and we all have our Achilles heels with everything that we do. So we have to admit to ourselves what our issues are. I have to admit to you, I'll tell you, for example, I am an impulse buyer, and I understand that I'm an impulse buyer, and I used to do that. So now what I do is I do a lot of window shopping. That might not work for people, but it works for me. Usually I would go window shopping at the store. And today I window shop at home. When I get all these, and let me tell you, society sets us up to go into debt. Society, the media sets us up to do so. It's hard to combat all the things that are out there. The marketing is geared toward telling us you need to buy this, telling us that you need to get this or you're not worth anything. So we need to understand who we are and where the marketing is getting to us before we decide, before we know how to live below our means. So again, tell yourself the truth, Then you need to understand a few different things that you need to do. Cut wasteful spending. So again, people tell me, oh, I don't waste anything. Whatever. You don't know what you're wasting until you look at your budget. If you understand where everything goes and you can show me your plan that shows me what you bring in and where everything goes and why you need these things that it's going to. So understand what wasteful spending is first, before you can cut wasteful spending. You need to understand it. The simple thing is to do right now is to make a list of all the things that you spend on frequently, and look at these things and understand what necessary. Tell yourself about the truth about things that are necessary and things that don't really improve your quality of life. Make a list of that. Then find, when you find that you're getting overwhelmed or carried away, for example, I'll tell you, streaming and cable bills, that's one place that I would tell you to review. Review this and pick the most cost-effective option for you. We have streaming and cable is probably costing us so much that because we have everything under the sun. What do we need? What are repeats? You need to sit down, analyze that with your family, and bring it down. Always talk to your cable company if you because there's always a special going on. But if you don't look at your bill and you don't have a conversation with them every year, they're going to charge you whatever they're going to charge you. They're not going to automatically give you what the special is. You need to talk to them. You need to be proactive. Same thing with your phone bills. You need to know what phone company you have. Always I call them, okay, why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? And somebody else have it and I'm paying more than them. You need to work that out. If you're eating out a few times a week, cut out the eating out a few times a week to once a week, even once a month. Track how much the necessity is not for you to eat out a few times a week, but you can treat yourself to once a week or once a month, depending on what you are. Sometimes we don't even realize the number of things that we spent on that we won't really miss if we don't have it. Understand your own money mindset. So understand your own money mindset, understand your own lifestyle. So you're not spending frivolously on things that are not most beneficial to you, so you can, be more even keeled in doing things. I am always surprised at myself when I reevaluate my spending on how much I waste. Believe it or not, the modern savvy CPA does waste. My family does waste. I try my best for the most common things not to waste, but I have to keep reevaluating myself. What am I doing that I'm not thinking about and wasting? I reevaluate that all the time. I reevaluate that with my family, and we talk about those things when we're going through things. My older son, he's always looking at our cell phone bill. He's always looking at our cable bill. He's always looking at which is the most beneficial credit card and what do I get out of it when we're paying. Those are the three things he's always looking at. So I'm always evaluating it after he looks at it to see where we're going with it and how things have changed. And trust me, in the last decade, many things have changed a lot. So frankly, a lot of the things that you're wasting on, you probably won't even miss it. So, try to look at that and don't fall into the trap thinking you're going to miss it. The other thing is negotiate your other bills. Find unwanted subscriptions. I know we all have that. Refinance your debt, your interest to pay less on your debt. That's a big killer. You want to make sure that, you're not, I understand that in today's society with our younger generation, we have the issues with interest rate and student loan debt, which I've covered on many videos before this, and I can still talk about it a lot more. But we still need to reevaluate our loans, reevaluate our student loans, see how we can consolidate, which one is subsidized, which one is not subsidized, understanding how we can pay those off. Look at your car loans. There are also, should be maybe 0% interest car loans out there. God only knows if we have that. Credit card interest is a big no-no. So you always want to make sure that you're looking at that. Credit card interest is usury, in my opinion. You never want to be paying credit card interest. If you have a credit card debt, try finding if you have good credit. There's always offers. Offers come to my desk all the time. I look at my mom's bills. My mom's bills always coming 0% interest rate for a year and a half. Try to roll it in, but don't trap yourself into having more credit card debt again. Roll it in and set up a plan to play with. Be savvy about looking at your bills. Make sure that you look at compare your companies. A lot of these companies will pre-qualify you based on your credit scores, especially with the student loan debt, before even looking at your credit, before even running your credit. So you want to make sure that you're looking at this. Try the balance transfer ones that are giving you 0% for a period of time. I've done that before. But you need to be diligent that you're not going to rack it up again. A mistake is you make it once. You make it twice, it's no longer a mistake, it's a decision. Don't make the decision to rack the credit card up again. Be diligent about what you're doing. Be smart about your car and home purchase. Yes, a spacious home is great. I've talked to you guys about how many homes have I been in, depending on what my budget is, before I got to my homes. This is my 4th home that I'm buying in my years of living. Started off with a condo. Now I live in a 4,000 square foot house here in Wellington, Florida. So you need to make sure that, you're stepping into steps on what you're doing. Plus, you're making sure that you have your money there just in case there's unforeseen expenses. If you were living in too much of a home or you have too much of a car, all of your money is going towards that. So you're not going to have the extra money that's going to be there just in case you have to look at unforeseen expenses. You're not going to be prepared. Remember, preparing, having a plan is crucial to your financial wellness, to what you're looking. That's where it goes to living below your means. Whatever you're making, you need to be spending less than you're making. That is how you're going to build your debt. You want to make sure that you understand that a car is not an investment. Unless you're Jay Leno and you're having that luxury car obsession and investing in all these hundreds of thousands of dollars or things, 99% of your car is not an investment. You want to make sure that not soon as you get your big job out of college, you're going to buy that Tesla. Make sure that you're thinking about what you're buying. Make sure you understand you're taking into your student loans after you graduate that you have to pay before you calculate what your car payment is going to be. Soon as once you own a car a year, it's 30% lower right now. So you want to consider what you're buying for your first car, what you're buying for your second car, a car is similar to a home. You don't start off with the most expensive thing, and you don't get to the one that you might want unless it's below your means, because you want to be able to sock away with your savings, sock away with your things that you're doing. So, look at your bills, consider what you are doing, be conscious of the money, and keep checking. Make sure that you are not using these things to do the extra purchases. Decide how to move your money to savings. We've talked about before doing an automatic savings to your savings, or automatic saving to your savings for a purpose account, and you need to start reversing your mindset into a smart money mindset. And part of that is starting with living below your means, and I've given you some of the things that you need to look at, how to start living below your means. You need to tell yourself the truth about what you're doing and understand where all of your dollars are going, and are you comfortable with those places? Because if you're still telling me you're always broke and you don't know where your money is, then you are not comfortable in what you're doing. You're not looking at the right thing, and you're not telling yourself the truth. When you get paid, make sure that you do the automatic to savings if you have your debt under control. If not, get your debt under control so you can get to that point. The way that you are going to build your wealth is net worth, building your net worth. And the way that you're going to build your net worth is to spend less than you're bringing in. This is the Modern Savvy CPA with another good finance tip. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, feel free to give me a follow to get updated on new and upcoming episodes, and listen in every Tuesday and Thursday, where I teach you smart money habits so you can make better money choices with a financial goal focus.